there's like something about this place, right? It's like it just kind of regenerates you. This is the place where we come as families. So it's important that we ask the communities why it's important that we save these places. Because it's important that we stop talking like conservationists and we start talking like the communities that we're from or that we're trying to help or that we're organizing in. I guess if anything, that's the big message is stop coming into communities and telling them what they should be doing. Ask them what they feel they should be doing. Because then we allow the people that we're looking to for support, we allow them to make an educated decision on whether or not this is something for them.
I've often heard of this place, this little desert ribbon of life, but I was curious if the stories I had heard were actually true. I've spent a lot of my life working on and around the rivers of the American Southwest. Colorado, the Yampa, the Green, the San Juan, even the Rio Grande. They've taken me on some pretty remarkable journeys, and they've taught me a few things about nature and how much we ask of it. But one little river, hidden in some desert mountains, the Colorado River's southernmost tributary, I'd yet to explore. The Gila. Playing a truly vital role in the hydrology of the western United States, this 650-mile lifeline historically drained an enormous watershed of over 60,000 miles before connecting to the Colorado River. In addition, it flows through the heart of America's first designated wilderness. The allure of this little wilderness gem finally pulled me south to an untamed corner of New Mexico. The challenge, of course, would be how to float it, especially with low water. Persistent drought and growing demand are drying up rivers across the West. After some convincing, my buddy Mike joined me.
All right, so we've got these amazing little pack rafts here. We're at the tail end of the water year down here on the Gila River. And we're hoping we can squeak a 4-day trip.
He works to protect rivers, and he once paddled the entire Colorado River, source to sea.
Yeah, just psyched to go down and see a river I've never seen.
All that I had actually ever seen was where the Gila died, somewhere southwest of Phoenix, a fate so many of our other western rivers share. The headwaters were amazing to see up close, the animals that call it home, and more importantly, the people.
I'm Frances Vasquez, and I was born and raised here in Grant County, lived my entire life here.
I'm Angelina. They call me Nina.
I go by Danny T. The T is for terrific. And I am also a native to this land, born and raised.
The Gila River is life to indigenous people, to wildlife, and it's just part of your heritage. It's just part of a way of life.
Gila National Forest.
Gila National Forest.
G-I-L-A. Gila.
Gila.
Nothing like it.
Nothing. This is our getaway. This is our therapy. This is it for us.
This is everything.
This is our everything.
It's vital to who we are as a family and as a community. We're not the only ones.
I work on the wild and scenic legislation I work on wilderness. I work on getting the community that I live in to get behind conservation efforts in New Mexico to save what we have.
The water is a sense, just like us, free flowing, spirited. It's just, this is just it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta make some miles, don't we?
A lot of miles to make. It's kind of hard to make miles when it's so beautiful around every corner.
No.
Wish I had 2 weeks to be here.
I was struck by the incredible archaeological history and the rich biodiversity that teems with life down here.
It's got all the hallmarks of amazing water quality. You've got dragonflies, tadpoles, amphibians. This place is incredible.
This river has supported this land for centuries.
This is one of the most wild places I've ever seen. As we floated, I started wondering how a humble farmer from the Midwest named Aldo Leopold grew to love this place so much that he was able to actually protect it as wilderness over a century ago. At a time when few outside of New Mexico knew where it was or had even heard of the Gila Mountains.
He's the one that worked to get it designated a wilderness, and he's very, very, very appreciated in our community.
Despite Aldo's work, wilderness doesn't actually protect rivers from being dammed. And today, as the droughts worsen and the demand for water increases, the stakes for this wilderness lifeline are higher than ever. Of course, Aldo didn't discover the Gila. This watershed supported humans for thousands of years, and it still does today. The Mogollon peoples, and later the Apache, lived and traveled throughout these hills, but many of them were forced out long ago, like so many of our native tribes.
That's kind of a touchy subject for me. They weren't conserving them for the communities that were there. They weren't conserving them for future generations of Hispanics and Latinos or Native Americans or people of color. They're conserving it for the people who had the opportunity and the time and the privilege to enjoy these places. And I think in a lot of ways we still do that.
Last camp of the trip. I wish we had more time.
Meeting the locals who call this place home today and consider the Gila their backyard river helped put it all in context.
Considering that my family has been here for 7 generations, and for all of those generations, we have enjoyed the wilderness, appreciated the Gila River, and that gives us the responsibility of preserving it.
On our last day, we quietly paddled past a proposed dam site, which, if approved, would have flooded almost every mile we had paddled the days prior and permanently altered this watershed. This project and others are stark reminders of the pressure on these rivers and the need for more protection.
I can understand what they want to accomplish. I don't think it's realistic. And certainly it's not economical. It's going to cost more and more and more money that we don't have, and it'll be for forever.
And I believe the Gila is one of our last free-flowing rivers in New Mexico. So I was very devastated when they tried to divert that.
It just takes away from everything. It takes away from this whole place. Like, what will it be next?
Would we really be New Mexico if our river wasn't flowing so free?
So what did we learn? wilderness really is a sanctuary for wildlife. After years of studying Western rivers, I've seen firsthand that there just aren't that many left that are as intact and as wild as the Gila. But these places are also for people, especially the locals, and not just those with fancy outdoor toys or privileged white dudes with pack rafts that like to visit. These are our shared outdoor playgrounds, the hunting grounds, the open-aired classrooms, and for some, even the roofless cathedrals. Made it.
We made it. This is where we get out?
Yeah. And maybe, just maybe, such wild and scratchy places full of wolves and bear and birds and the history of our country's first inhabitants can unite a few of us back to the past, connect us in the present, and perhaps we can share a collective future if we keep it wild.
I just think that we need to get more people on board. Because otherwise these places aren't going to be here anymore. But how do we do that, right? Like, I guess that's the challenge. How do we make people care? How do we convince them that they should? All right, Pete. All right, come on. I'm done with you today.
Okay, thank you.